in 2015, and Future Society has held annual and years have firstly is the rising of social media and the related technologies that seem to erode the foundation of democracy. China and the United States, which will establish a new world order of geopolitics. The third is the COVID that personal life. Why have so many people wear masks today? Trends will profoundly and permanently alter our living world. Facing this disruptive and uncertain world, I believe that you might be quite confused about humans' future, just like I am now. The theme of tonight's forum is New Economy, Society. Talks delivered by the forum's panelists and speakers before the presidential election in the United States, Andrew could also bring us first-hand insight about this important election. For those of you that are not members of Taiwan Future Society yet, please join our society for more intellectual exchanges in the future. Together, we can not only better comprehend our future, but also learn to live more wisely. Finally, I want to especially thank alumni associations of Columbia University and the Stanford University in Taiwan and the Stormy Media to sponsor tonight's. Also, another sponsor is, I don't know the English name, 亚太青银共创协会, okay, by Pat Cao. Okay, thank you for this society also. So thank you again, and I wish you enjoy.
好，我们谢谢我们理事长。好，那在这个我们介绍讲者之前，我们有几位现场的贵宾，他们蛮难得的，今天来到我们的现场。有一个非常特别的，就是Steve Chen 的父母亲站起来跟大家挥挥手。
YouTube 的 co-founder Steve 陈时俊，还有连胜文也在，现在在会场，还有李豪，主持人是许玉仁。
Shirley. Fellow Brookings, and also from University of Virginia. Welcome. And her husband Harry is here with her today as well.
Yes.
Next, we also have a very young rising star and in the venture capital industry, Mr. Charles Wu from JSR Management.
现在有6位，
Everyone please sit down. Yeah, thank you.
有位都在上面。
As we kind of, sail through the tumultuous 2020. So why don't we start by asking each of you who happened to be in Taiwan or who decided to be in Taiwan, what's your current observation or aspiration or outlook of the rest of the year and going forward? You can talk about things you concern, you can talk about the issues that you are worried, or you can talk about the projects that you're working on. So let me start by with Sean.
My family's here. I'm actually I'm very glad that I'm here with my family. You can ask me about the matters that concerns me the most, or I should say my top priority issues that things the border reopen. Okay. We actually we have been in sort of border lockdown mode for more than roughly 10 months, 8 months, 9 months. And this year, because of the pandemic, COVID-19, obviously, you have no choice. I mean, you just have to stay here. It's relatively safer here in Taiwan. Although many people now, when they go away, they become confirmed cases in other countries. But then overall, we're still safer here. So people say, fine, I'll put up with this because this is really, this is the dire situation everywhere else. But coming in the next year, Taiwan is a sort of an export-driven economy, and a lot of our people, whether you're in trading, whether you're in tech or in many other businesses, it really requires people to travel, and not for fun, but for business, for survival. So without a viable vaccine or some sort of treatment, I guess it's almost impossible to reopen our borders. And so far, I haven't seen any clear policy of Taiwan that indicates when or how can we open our borders. And this is something that really worries me because if we continue this lockdown mode until next year, I'm talking about another year of lockdown. I cannot imagine how difficult it will become for our people here in our economy. So that's, if you ask me, this is the top, sort of utmost concern for me going forward.
How about you, Leo?
I'm going to put a bit of a more positive spin on things. I've been in Taiwan 10 years, and I really think that Taiwan is at a golden point in time. COVID is affecting us all and it's affecting the whole world, as Sean said, and that's understandable. But if you look at the whole world from a geopolitical perspective, Taiwan right now is at a perfect opportunity to really take hold of some of the advantages that are coming its way. And when I talk about that, I mean the geopolitical shift, particularly between the US and China, the supply chain shift that we're seeing many of the member companies that we have and we're seeing globally, where people are looking for alternative places to produce and source their products other than just China, which was much more the case in the past few years. But also the fact that Taiwan has handled COVID so well has brought Taiwan to confuse Taiwan with Thailand. That doesn't happen so much. People know about Taiwan everywhere, and they know how successful it's been handled here. And this recognition that Taiwan has is really giving us an opportunity that we'll hopefully use to build Taiwan. When you look at the people who are here in this room, there are a bunch of COVID refugees in Taiwan. They've never who are camping out in Taiwan during this time. And the more we can get them together, the more we can talk about some of the issues that Taiwan is facing and the advantages that Taiwan has as a business place to do business, the better Taiwan will be. Going back to the geopolitical thing, the American Chamber has been looking to negotiate a bilateral free trade agreement with the United States for many years. It's been in our white paper for 10 years. For the first time, I think that next year will be critical for that, and I think that we can take some important steps that way. So I'm very optimistic, notwithstanding all the negative stuff that COVID is bringing. It's also given in Taiwan a really golden moment. So I'll stop it there now, but that's basically my view.
Just on the other note, Leo is originally from Canada, but he actually get a Taiwanese citizenship, so he's actually a Taiwan. Let's give him a round of applause. Steve, you moved to Taiwan for a little bit more than a year now. What's your current view on things?
No, exactly. So I came back in, well, I was born originally in Taiwan, moved over to the U.S. when I was in the second. And I started third grade in the U.S., and I was there for about 30 years, and I came back last year. So just a little over a year ago, I moved back, myself, and the rest of my family, including 2 kids. This was still in the August period of 2019, so this is still months before everything that we're seeing, both with what's happening with the Trump administration, what's coming up with the upcoming elections, and then most importantly, what's happening with COVID. And I think COVID on an international scale, where we, along with a few of the other folks that we knew coming back from New York, coming back from California, even in February when it was starting to just hit Taiwan, and it still, as far as Trump was saying, was 0 cases in the U.S., we were actually already talking about packing up our bags and moving back to California, moving back to New York at the time. You know, fast forward a few more months, and I just read an article about Taiwan going 200 days without any local COVID cases. And so most of my friends that I know here to Taiwan was to, I think, to reignite for, and seeing that there was a lot of talent here. However, when it came to the core entrepreneurs, when it came to actually starting the company, there was something amiss. At the same time, in Silicon Valley, there was a group of specifically Taiwanese American entrepreneurs that were very successful, and many of them now are coming back to Taiwan. And I think that this is a very good opportunity to be able to glue these together, to be able to have the entrepreneurs that are all coming back every week, more and more are coming back to Taiwan, and then to be able to work with the engineers here in Taiwan to be able to start something here. So I'm looking forward to, in the relative larger grand scheme of things, we're still waiting to see what's coming up in the upcoming elections next week with COVID, but in terms of what's happening in Taiwan, I can't think of a better, more exciting time to be here right now.
I think that's deserve a round of applause too. Thanks, Steve. In academic, and you care a lot about Taiwan for education, international exchange. What's your view?
You can see Jason already teed me up to say he's rigged at this, and I think actually the perfect thing that Jason did as an old friend was he probably doesn't know when he invited me. So this is my 3rd time quarantine. I just got out of quarantine, so you're all safe. But I choose to be here. I'm not a refugee. I could be in 3 other places where I'm all teaching and online things right now. So I go home tonight, and I have another Zoom call at 10:30 p.m. So life as it is very hectic. It doesn't matter where I go. But I choose to be here to teach a short course for National Chengchi University, and 2 of my best students are here. And also, I'm happy to say 2 of my colleagues from investment banking, venture capital, these are here, Joyce Xu and Jessica Chow. So it's really great to be here. But the reason that it's perfect for me to be here, Jason, is because I almost went to Columbia and I almost went to Stanford. And I applied twice, 3 times actually, for both schools, business school, law school, undergraduate. And all 3 times I decided not to go. But I still deserve to be at the alumni meeting here. And the second thing, of course, you can see I'm the only woman. So let me tell you about what I'm concerned about. I'm very concerned about the topic of my next book, which is called The High Income Trap in East Asia. The high income trap is really what we're talking about. And the COVID-19 situation situation is exacerbating all of the trends in these wealthy societies, including Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, the United States, the UK, and that is inequality, which will be exacerbated with COVID between countries, within countries. Taiwan actually, I do comparative work for both Brookings and the Miller Center, which is a think tank at the University of Virginia. We look at all the issues that the president faces, and therefore it's a whole range of social, economic, as well as financial issues.